Hello, you absolute legends. This year, Doom celebrates its 30th birthday, and boy does that make me feel old. Where has the time gone? It seems like before you know it, I'll be 65 talking about how someone completed Hanger in 7 seconds. The Doom speedrunning community is ancient, and is likely the oldest speedrunning community in existence. You would think that after such a long time, new strategies and new discoveries would have dried up long ago. But shockingly, nothing could be further from the truth, and this bodes pretty well for the future of speedrunning. I mean, if Doom is being broken after 30 years, this means most games have a long and bright future ahead of them. Doom's most recent breakthrough actually comes in the form of a very rare and very bizarre glitch that has been known about since at least the 90s. But this glitch is so rare that you normally have to play for hundreds or thousands of hours for it to happen a single time. And when it does happen, it does so at seemingly random and inexplicable times. The glitch in question is as game-breaking as it is mysterious. Suddenly, out of nowhere, all collision stops working. Doom Guy can now run straight through walls. He can't pick up any items or interact with any features. And what's even more weird is that enemies can walk through walls as well, and they are also impervious to hit-scan weapons. With no clipping, you would think this glitch would be a godsend to speedrunners. All you'd have to do is activate the glitch, then run to the end, and you've just saved a bunch of time. But unfortunately, things aren't that simple. This glitch breaks the game so much that you can't even press the final button or activate the end teleporter. Basically, this glitch was just seen as a bizarre anomaly that was as useless as it was rare. In fact, the glitch was more a nuisance than anything, because if it does happen, it ends your speedrun then and there. Throughout the entire history of the game, this rare glitch was always considered as not only impossible to intentionally recreate, but impossible to implement. Of course, that is, until now. Decades after the glitch was first observed, the legendary speedrunner Zero Master has become the first person in history to intentionally recreate the fabled all ghosts effect in the original Doom, and use it to achieve brand new world records. In this video, we will find out why it took so long to pull off, and how it was done. I really hope you enjoy. Now legends, this video is sponsored by the military online game War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. You can control over 2,000 unique tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships in epic combined arms PvP battles. You can really see a ton of effort has been put into each vehicle model, making them as detailed and realistic as possible. War Thunder caters to any and all playstyles, whether you like intense fast-paced air battles or the slower, more tactical tank v tank combat. Plus, the tech in War Thunder spans over 100 years, from all the way back in the 1920s to today. Honestly, War Thunder just looks amazing, and what I was most impressed with were the sounds. And what's even more impressive is that War Thunder is free to play, and is available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And if you use my link in the description, there is a large free bonus pack waiting for you, which includes multiple premium vehicles, a premium account, boosters, and much more. The All Ghosts bug is probably the rarest Doom glitch that can happen, and the reality is that most players will never experience it. And even the speedrunners today that grind the game for thousands of hours only have it happen a few times. Over time, with the creation of particular maps, the glitch has been seen more often, but when it comes to the original Doom, it's shockingly rare. In Doom 2, it became slightly more common. The earliest example I could find was a demo from 1996 by the player Thomas Zayites. This was on level 2, which seems to be the most common level this glitch occurs on. It's funny watching Thomas experience this glitch, because he clearly has no idea what's happening. In true speedrunner fashion though, as soon as he catches his bearings, he immediately heads to the exit switch to try and finish the level. Of course, we know this isn't possible. Once this glitch activates, Doom Guy can't interact with anything. And generally, the only way to leave the level is by quitting or letting an enemy melee you to death. While ranged weapons are ineffective, melee attacks can still affect you due to how they are coded. In his text file, Thomas states, "I have no idea what happened. All of a sudden, everything went no clip. I couldn't press switches or open doors anymore, and the monster's fire attacks didn't do any damage to me. Near attacks still did though." And that pretty much sums it up. While the glitch did happen to various people over the years, it was always at random times. It couldn't be controlled, and it wasn't understood. Knowledge of why the glitch happens was practically non-existent in the public sphere. It's apparent, though, that at least some people did know how and why it worked, because source ports have been able to emulate the glitch faithfully since the late 90s. But the players of the game were practically clueless. The earliest attempt to name and explain the glitch I found was in 2003 by Colin Phipps. This is the first reference to the name All Ghosts bug that I can see, and it's obvious from his explanation that he had a partial understanding of why the glitch happened in theory. What players knew is that when Doomguy fires a weapon, the game runs a check along the path of the bullet for any intercepts. An intercept could be an actual intercept like a wall, but intercepts can also be objects like an ammo box or a corpse. If a bullet path intercepts with more than 128 objects, the game starts to override memory in other places, which breaks the game. This rudimentary explanation might make sense in theory, but practically, it's just not what people experienced. I mean, take a look at this demo on the first level of Doom by JCD. The glitch is triggered by firing a bullet at a single imp just before the exit switch. Obviously, the bullet is not traveling over 128 ammo boxes or corpses. Something else must be happening. Even if you do account for the fact that the bullet path the game checks actually does extend through walls, it still doesn't account for that many intercepts. This is where there was a serious disconnect between theoretical knowledge and practical application. In 2015, the player RJY did present an explanation, showing that due to a numerical error in the code, the function that checks along a projectile's path gets stuck in a loop and repeatedly adds the same intercepts over and over. This makes more sense. Then, in 2021, Doom YouTuber Decino released a video which had a much more comprehensive breakdown of why the glitch occurs. And I strongly recommend you go and watch that video. In fact, if you haven't already, you should probably go ahead and watch all of his other breakdown videos as well, as they are all very interesting and well made. So by this point, it seemed like we knew how and why the glitch happens. But at the end of the day, does that even matter? On the idea of recreating the glitch, here is what Decino said at the end of his video.
So, is there any way to willingly overflow the intercepts without relying on stacked corpses? Unfortunately, your position and angle need to be absolutely dead on. You would need to find the exact fraction of values that cause a rounding error, and that is nearly impossible to achieve.
Honestly, despite finding out how the glitch happened, it doesn't seem like anyone was closer to figuring out how to use it. The precision required to get it to work was way too high. And also, even if the glitch happened, what good does it do? As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Doomguy cannot interact with anything. He can't press the final button. He can't use teleporters. So why is this even a discussion? Well, it turns out in Doom, there is one level that doesn't end when you press a button, and it doesn't end when you enter a teleporter. It ends when you are within a certain area with less than 10 health. And this is something that can be achieved with the All Ghosts bug. Episode 1, Map 8, has a very interesting mechanic to finish the level. Normally, Doomguy is teleported to a final location where he gets damaged until the point of death, and then the level ends. The speedrun for the level already skips most of it. I've even covered this before in an earlier video. Using a void glide, you can get out of bounds pretty early and just run to the end. The world record using this method was 19 seconds, achieved by 4 Shock Blast in 2016. Theoretically, if you were to activate the All Ghost effect at the very beginning of the map, you could just run to the end, and you would finish quicker than by using the Void Glide. While it is true that you can't interact with practically anything while the All Ghost bug is present, you can still be damaged by area effects. For example, things like lava and ooze. At the end of E1M8 is an area that deals 20% damage per second. The wiki pages say that when you die, the level ends, but actually, it's just when you get below 10 health. Decino even mentioned this in his video, and even appeared to show footage of him triggering the glitch at the beginning of E1M8 and finishing the level in 20 seconds. However, this was achieved by modifying the game to make the glitch always happen. What players did know at least is that if the glitch was triggered, they definitely could complete the level. The only problem would be actually doing it. Personally, I wouldn't even know where to begin trying to tackle this problem. You need to somehow execute a glitch that you don't even know is possible on this level, and even if it was, would seemingly require precision that is impossible to realistically achieve. While Decino had written the glitch off as too precise to use, his video explanation did give Zero Master the confidence to assume that it was at least possible to do on E1M8. And Zero Master did have a plan. Now, I really can't stress enough how much precision is required to get this glitch to work, so the idea of just randomly trying to do it is honestly extremely stupid. Up until this point, there was no instance of the glitch happening on this level, so there wasn't even an example to study or emulate. So sitting down and randomly shooting into the dark was not an option. However, these days, we do have tools that we can use to brute force different combinations of inputs to try and find one that works. So what Zero Master did was put Doomguy into different positions that were easy to replicate and would run simulations testing a range of inputs. After each iteration, he had instructed Doomguy to run into the wall. Obviously, every time, Doomguy would just hit the wall and stop. This would put him at a certain coordinate, which would tell the simulation it had failed. But if for some reason he ended up past the wall, indicating the glitch had been triggered, it would tell the simulation it had found a solution. The handy thing about simulations is that you don't need to render the game, so you can pump out many iterations much faster than otherwise possible. With the software Zero Master was using, every 8 seconds he could run through 6.5 million ticks of the game. This equates to 6.5 hours of actual game time per second. On top of that, Zero Master could run several instances simultaneously. And eventually, Zero Master did find a solution. He found a specific set of inputs that could trigger the glitch every time. What's crazy is that based on the amount of time it took Zero Master's simulations to find a solution, if a real human being had to do the same amount of work, it would take them around 300 years of non-stop constant trying to achieve the same outcome. So needless to say, without the assistance of tools, this was never going to happen. With a solution in hand, all Zero Master needed to do now was perfectly execute a small string of inputs to put Doomguy in just the right position, facing just the right angle. And after 3 decades of the all ghost bug just being some esoteric unicorn glitch that a few players stumble into, after 30 years of the all ghost bug being too random, too precise to use, Zero Master finally achieved this run. Zero Master's run of 17 seconds on E1M8 isn't flashy. It doesn't make your jaw drop with how crisp and complex the movement is, but it's just so damn cool that this strange, rare glitch that people have known so little about for so many years has actually been used in a speedrun. And it wasn't just this speedrun that Zero Master ended up using this for. He also found a solution and used it in Platonia. And recently, he has even been setting new world records with the glitch in full episode speedruns, which I can assure you was the very last thing anyone ever expected. Again, if you want a more thorough breakdown of why the glitch happens, I must recommend you watch Decino's video. I will put a link to it in the description. Also, once again, use the link in the description to download and play War Thunder. It's free, it's fun, and it's awesome. Plus, using my link will get you a bunch of free bonus goodies, so definitely click the link and check it out. As always, thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.